We're your hosts,
Aaron Bacus
and Jason Kindler.
We like to sit down with our guests to hear their journey, their challenges, and how they impact the local community.
So grab a seat, tune in, and let's get inspired by Jacksonville's everyday workforce.
Welcome to Hometown Jacks.
Hometown Jacks podcast. We are here with Jena Dennis, and I am so excited because today I can tell you we did not prep. We did not do
at all.
Any prep. I know a little bit about your story. I know that there's probably a lot I don't know, so I can't wait to dive in with you.
Awesome.
So this is a podcast all about people of Jacksonville. So tell us a little bit. Are you from Jacksonville? Are you born and raised?
I am sixth generation Jacksonvillian.
6 generations.
Yeah.
Are you the only person that's 6 generations?
I don't know. I don't know how rare that is, but like a lot of people are like, well, I'm a Florida native. Well, I'm actually a Jacksonville, Florida native. So
Wow.
yeah.
I bet I would maybe do some research on that.
Yeah.
That you got to be one.
Rare we
Yeah,
are.
right. So, tell us a little bit about so you obviously grew up here. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen in Jacksonville. I mean, it's definitely grown, right?
Yeah, it's grown a lot. I mean, I was born in the 80s and, looking at it now as opposed to back then is totally different. Every time I go into a new area, I feel like there's some kind of new development or something new going on. So it's bittersweet. Everyone thinks just because I'm a real estate broker that I love development, but there's something to be said for, this quaint small town feel as well.
So that's how we kind of know each other and is on the real estate side. Yeah. So you tell us a little bit about that. You own a real estate brokerage?
We do. My husband and I own Great Expectations Realty, and we cover all of Northeast Florida area. And we've had it for, since 2017.
Got it.
So, yeah.
So just because I know a little bit, tell me one other thing that you're, and I want to get to all of it, but tell me one other thing. I mean, I know you do real estate, but what else do you do?
So our business motto is we can sell your home or business and everything in it. And what that means is we are licensed in a lot of different facets. So we're a licensed auction and estate company. We're a licensed auto broker. We're a licensed federal firearms dealer and a licensed real estate broker.
So literally everything in.
Yeah. Anything and everything. And that's why attorneys love us, because the attorneys are like, we're a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
We can pretty much take an entire situation, whether it's a divorce or someone's passed away or it's a reorganization of a business, and we can handle every single asset they have. So
wow. So let's start with firearms.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
All the guys always want to
Yeah, I
sell
know, right?
firearms. They're like, tell me more. Yeah. So we got our federal firearms license probably 10 plus years ago. And, I came across a lot of estates where they'd have large collections. And I felt it was important to really be an expert in the industry and know what I'm doing and handle them, by law.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to get our license, and it's been great. We mostly do secondary markets. So, collections or estates, or, if someone's wanting to sell a few. I don't do a lot of one-off. It's just a lot of work and time to do transfers if you're not doing a large bulk amount. But it's been great.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you said was the auction.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So I've been doing auctions and estate sales for a really long time. That's actually kind of what started all the businesses is I had a little antique store in early 2000s and loved it, had a lot of fun, but I would have a lot of people come to me and say, oh, I want to sell this, or they'd come to me and ask me if I'd buy some of their stuff. And, we just saw a need for it in our community and decided to do estate sales. And next thing you know, I was getting my auctioneer's license and expanding my antique store, and it just kind of exploded. One day I woke up and it was like I was doing 15 different things. So
on the auction side, so is it? Do you do the auctions? Does you and your husband? Who does the auctions?
Yeah, so I am a licensed auctioneer, but so is my husband and so is my brother.
Okay.
So it's definitely a family ordeal.
Gotcha.
I always preferred to do more of the business end of it and let the guys do the calling. Growing up, and Amanda will tell you, I was like painfully shy. I was kind of a quiet introvert. So coming into myself as I, became more mature and became an adult and whatnot, I really had to like push myself to be an extrovert. And so
Interesting.
it was a slow start getting into the auction world. It took me a couple months.
I mean, that's like the opposite of an introvert.
I know.
That's the opposite. So let's go down that path a little bit because, obviously we have, our viewers, a lot of business owners, a lot of, people that are in business. I personally, I tend to be an introvert first, and I've learned how to be an extrovert. So how does one, not to the auctioneer side, not to that extent, but how did that journey go? Like, so you were shy growing up.
Yeah.
Did you teach yourself or just kind of come one day?
It was baptism by fire.
Really?
For sure. Yeah. I in college, I remember one of my professors telling me I was kind of quiet and soft-spoken. And she said, you're never going to make it in business as a woman. You're too soft-spoken. You need to project your voice. And she just kind of like gave me a smack in the face one day. And I was, that always resonated with me. If anything, I think it pissed me off. And, I was going to be bound and determined to do the opposite of what she said. And I originally got my auctioneer's license thinking I would hire someone to do the calling. I just wanted to own the business.
Yeah.
That was the part that excited me. Well, you go to try to hire an auctioneer and it was expensive as a new business owner. I was starting with nothing and I was like, it's pretty much me. I've got to do this.
That's true trial by fire.
Yeah, true trial by fire. My first auction, I remember I was mortified and I was sitting up on the stage. There were a couple hundred people in the crowd and you could hear my voice shaking.
Oh, wow.
And I knew people could I was physically shaking. I was so nervous. So about 20 minutes into it, I forgot that I was scared and I just found my groove. And it was like, I just kept going and going. And I think, for maybe a year, I was a little anxious about it, but now it's like, it's old hat. It's like I flip a switch and I'm on. So
can you flip that switch now?
I can.
Oh my goodness. I was hoping you would say that.
You gotta give me something to sell though.
What about this?
All right. What do we have here?
This is a money sign with little dangling legs.
Oh, very rare. Definitely rare.
It may be a one of one.
Yeah.
I believe it's missing a piece right here, but it's an antique.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So I got to hear this. Show me what you do.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard when you don't have a crowd to interact with. So you're going to have to bid for me, everyone.
Okay.
But, what do you think this is worth? This money symbol.
Ooh. What is it?
5,000.
Ooh, let's go.
All
5,000.
Right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have this beautiful money symbol. Started out, how about a $5,000 bid? Anybody at 5,000? Bid 5,000. How about 2,000 and go? 2,000. Anybody at 2,000? I've got 1,000. How about 2? Who to bid 2? I'm at 1,000. Bid 2,000. 2,000. Bid 3,000. We're at 3,000. 3,000, sir. Bid 4. I'm at 3,000. Bid 4. So.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
So I don't do like the cattle auction chant where you can really speed it up. I mostly sell like art and antiques and, cars, things like that. So we intentionally slow our chant down a little bit.
Got it.
So people can hear us. But, I have a friend of mine, Steve, who is the manager of our brokerage. Yeah. He's an auctioneer as well.
Oh, wow.
And he can spit it out. He's like a cattle auctioneer. It's amazing. But
that's amazing. Great job. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool. I definitely can't do that.
You can with practice.
I can with practice.
Yeah.
Oh man. So that's pretty cool. So estate sales and tell me about the auto brokerage. What is the auto part?
Yeah. So we got our auto license. Same reason, people just kept coming to us and it was a part of a lot of estates. So we decided to get our license and then really branched out when we were contacted by St. Johns County. And we started doing all of their surplus assets. So we sell, and we do it for a couple other counties and municipalities as well. We do City of Palatka. And basically what we do is anytime they have what we call rolling stock, which is a titled vehicle, it can be a truck, a trailer, a bulldozer, whatever. We run it through auction and we do these surplus auctions usually 2 or 3 times a year. So that's primarily what we use our auto brokerage for. And then, of course,
Very cool.
yeah,
Very
if we're
interesting.
doing an estate and someone's got a car, it allows
Yep.
us to sell that as well.
That's one stop.
Yeah,
Man,
truly.
that's amazing. I know a little bit. I'm just gonna. What else are you doing?
Well, I am right now. We have a lot going on in Hastings.
Okay.
That seems to
Yep.
be like what we're getting a lot of media for lately. My husband and I used to own a building in Springfield, downtown Jacksonville. And if you're familiar with Rethreaded organization,
Yeah, absolutely.
So Rethreaded bought what we call the compound from us. And when they did, we had to move our business to a new location. So we were looking all over and we found a beautiful historic building in Hastings, Florida.
Okay.
And Hastings is right outside of St. Augustine. We purchased this building and one thing led to another. And we ended up buying a lot of buildings in that community. People joke like you bought half the town, but we really did almost buy half the town. And we've been so blessed because we've had such amazing community support. And
That's
we've
really
been,
cool.
yeah, we've been renovating these buildings one at a time.
Yep.
And getting new businesses to move into town. And since then, we've also sold several buildings for customers on the street. And truly, in 2 years, we've been able to help through. We started a nonprofit.
Yep.
It's called Hastings Main Street.
Okay.
And we have completely redeveloped this community. And, we're working on the economic redevelopment. The historical structures are all getting renovations. It's really become a passion project. So
I could tell your face was like,
yeah,
light up.
I love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that's done that.
Yeah. It's been so rewarding. I tell you, like, I get so much joy from it. And it started out as, a real estate investment.
Yep.
It turned into so much more. Like, so many people in that community, I feel like they're family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the people that live in Hastings, I mean, they gotta love you, right?
I hope so.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did see, one of the buildings, and like it's a before and after. I mean, it's completely different. It's amazing.
It's cool. It's really neat because we're helping a lot of other business owners in the community recognize and achieve their dreams
Yep.
of opening a business and starting a business. And my husband and I apparently lost our minds and decided one of the buildings we were going to turn into an event venue.
Okay.
So we are also in our free time opening an event venue, which will hold weddings, corporate events.
Sounds like you have a lot
markets.
of free time.
A lot, yeah. Well, now that I've given up sleeping,
Right.
it's working out. So
That's so good. This is amazing. Like that's so much going on in your life. Any other projects that you have going on? Any other things that you've done that are,
those are kind of a
Those are the
lot
big
to
ones?
keep me busy. That
Yeah.
and my babies. I have 3 amazing kids.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and my husband and I really try to raise them super involved in our businesses. So, each of them has their own company and they're all on payroll and they work with us. And
How old are your kids?
so my oldest is 11,
Okay.
my middle is 9, and my baby is 7.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's been fun.
That is real world. I mean, firsthand,
Yeah.
like experience, education.
It's been
That's
the
incredible.
best part of all of it. And for us, that's what Hastings has become, is kind of a legacy project, because we're not in it to flip any of these properties. Like, we're invested long-term and we're growing and building what we consider our family's legacy. And one day I want my kids to take it over and, learn all the aspects of being a business owner, from
Yeah.
cleaning toilets to all the way up to the top. So it's fun.
That's Jenna. That's an amazing story.
Thank you.
Amazing story. I mean, and I know you're continuing on with that. Gosh, I think as people, get older, myself included, it's like, you work, you do things, but what you said with legacy, I think that's such an important piece of it.
Yeah.
It's something that definitely I've thought about recently, and it's like, okay, well, this is all good, but what does that look like for
100%.
for the future?
Yeah, one of our goals, we just in our free time, we just started doing travel agency. So my husband is now officially an Expedia travel agent.
So now we're adding travel. Now it's travel agent.
We
Oh
did
my
add travel.
gosh, this is amazing. I mean,
Well, let
wow.
me tell you why. So we love to travel, and
Yeah.
our long-term goal, once everything is up and running and the renovations are done, all of these buildings will be passive income.
Mhm.
So, and that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about, is setting up my customers in real estate for long-term success. And most of the time that's through passive income
Yep.
opportunities.
Yep.
So I preach hard and big about that. But once we've achieved that goal and we're at a point where we can, step away, our goal is to travel with the family and take them all over the world and, do kind of some travel blogs with the kids. So by adding the travel dynamic,
I'm sure there'll be a business behind that.
you better believe
yeah,
it.
I can see
we're
it.
already
Totally.
working on it. We just got all of our LLCs lined up, and we're branching out into the travel industry now.
Wow, that's amazing. So
fun.
on the where do you guys usually travel?
So we mostly have stayed stateside.
Yeah.
This summer we're going to Europe for a month.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we're gonna go. We're gonna start out in Ireland, and we're traveling with some dear friends that are from Ireland, and then we're gonna pop over to Paris and travel all over Europe for a couple
month.
weeks, and then just pop over to Switzerland to see my husband's brother. And
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, the entrepreneur side, like most people can't pick up and go for a month.
Yeah.
So
That's what I
you've
love
kind
about
of set
real
yourself up
estate.
that way.
Yeah, I've been blessed with an incredible team. I have 2 full-time ladies that work with me. That one of them's my TC and the other one's my executive assistant. And
Yep.
I couldn't do what I'm doing without the 2 of them.
Yeah.
They are amazing. They not only bring me joy and keep me stable, but they support me in so many ways. So it's great. I can work from anywhere, and that's what I love about this industry.
That's amazing. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It does.
It really does.
It really does.
So I've been by your broker shop several times throughout the years. I have to ask, there's a giraffe outside.
A life-size giraffe.
There is a life-size giraffe, and you're in for our viewers, you're in St. Augustine. What street are you on?
Right at the corner of King and US 1.
King and US 1. So
Yeah.
next time King and US 1, or you're in St. Augustine, you got to go by King and US 1. Tell me about this giraffe. I've never heard the story. I just know I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there's the giraffe.
It's not as exciting as one would think, but I have always loved giraffes.
Okay.
And I told my husband one day I want a live one, a real one. And I'm not joking when I say that. I will have.
I know you'll have a real giraffe.
Yeah,
like
I will.
Just knowing a little bit of your story, I'm like, yeah, you'll definitely have a giraffe.
Well, and I'll tie into that in a minute. I'll tell you why. But first, to answer your question about why the giraffe. So people have always bought me like giraffe stuff and like like it's just been a thing.
Yeah.
And one day, like a month after COVID hit, we were all in lockdown, and it was like everyone was so morose, and it was an intense time.
Yeah, it was.
Emotionally, mentally, there was a lot going on. So I was shopping online, and I see this life-size giant like elephant, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if they have this in giraffe.
Oh, wow.
So I started Googling, and next thing you know, I found a life-size giraffe. And my husband is so good-natured. He puts up with all my antics. And I went home that night, and I'm like, honey, I love you. I bought a giraffe. And he's like, didn't know where to go with that. I'm like,
He didn't know it was live. Yeah.
didn't know at first. So I explain, well, the challenge was we're on the busiest intersection in St. Augustine, and the semi truck delivering the life-size giraffe couldn't get into our driveway because it would take the power lines out. So we called. I have a friend that was at this police department.
Yeah.
We called, and we got a police escort to shut down US 1.
It's like the busiest intersection too. Yeah.
And they did it. Everybody and people were honking as we pulled this massive giraffe. There were 6 grown men like trying to pull this thing out of the semi. And I have videos. You would just die. It was so funny.
That's so funny.
But it was so fun. And the reason I did it was it just gave people a reason to smile. Like we decorate him for holidays. And, during the summer, he gets a rubber duck float.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just, it's just a whimsical, like, oh, look at the giraffe.
Okay, so there's a story behind it.
Yeah,
So
I guess so.
there's a story behind it, and I
Yeah.
love that you decorate it.
Yeah, so
That's
the
cool.
tie-in, I'll tell you why I'm getting a real draft soon. So we have our office is about 6,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge building, and obviously, like, we don't need the whole space. So I rented out the back portion of the building to that new Capybara Cafe that just opened in St. Johns County.
Yep.
Did you hear about
I
it?
heard.
So
Yep.
it's amazing if you've ever wanted to pet a
that's
capybara. And like she has
The first time I heard about a capybara, now tell us what a capybara is.
I had to Google it.
I did too.
I was like, what the heck's a capybara? I thought she was saying kookaburra.
Yeah.
This woman calls me and she's like, hey, I'm interested in renting your space. And I thought she was saying kookaburra. So I finally Googled capybara, and it's a giant rodent. It's like this massive, she's laughing. It's this massive rodent, and it's like, it's fuzzy, and it's like got bristly fur, but they're cute. I mean, truly they are cute. So she's like, I'm going to open a capybara cafe. And I'm like, okay. And I Google it. And so she owns an exotic pet rescue. And she
interesting.
she has this amazing rescue in Hastings, Florida. And we became friends, and she has the license for me to get a life-size giraffe. So we've been collaborating. Her husband and my husband are like trying to keep us away from each other because we're just, so she has all these amazing animals. So we've been talking about how much acreage do you need for a giraffe and, setting out our plans. So one day we will have a giraffe.
I know you will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and now you know the person that can actually
I know, right?
facilitate this.
In the meantime, I get to play with capybaras she has a skunk. She has, she's got, what are those mini kangaroos? She has a mini kangaroo. It's amazing. We carry it around in this pouch.
And it's in her house, or
No, it's in the building, in my office.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and she's got a little baby albino armadillo that is adorable.
I want to come see you, but now I really want to come see you.
Yeah, you need to come see me.
All right.
We've got raccoons. Like, depending on the day, you never know what it's going to be like crawling across the back office.
I knew a couple of your projects and things like that. But I did not know where this was going to go. Yes. And it went so much better. Like that's crazy.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's amazing. You live a very interesting, exciting life.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I
you do.
That.
Yeah, you do. And you're very successful.
Thank you.
And I think, just knowing a little bit, I know a little bit on the real estate side. I know people that work with you absolutely love you. And I know that's your reputation, and I'm sure that all of your other businesses and everything like that follow.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
It's been fun getting to know you a little bit too.
Yeah. So, we have a lot of guests on that, it's pretty narrow focused. Mm-hmm. This is, you do it all. So, we definitely, for anyone who's watching, if you have the auction side, the real estate side, if you want to go pet some animals, stop
by. We'll sell you a house and let you pet our capybaras
and sell everything else. Tell us your tagline again.
So we're at GE Realty, or Great Expectations Realty, and it's Jena Dennis.
So you'll sell the house.
We can sell the house, the business, and everything in it.
Everything in it. That's so good. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely talk soon. And I'm coming to see everything.
All right, sounds good.
All right, awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Jena.
Take care.
The Hometown Jacks podcast is recorded and produced by First Coast Mortgage Funding, located in the heart of Jacksonville. Do you want to be our next guest? Visit our website at hometownjackspodcast.com. We can't wait to hear your story.